My name is Moritz Schildt. I'm coming from Germany, Hamburg. Good morning. I would like to take the next 25 minutes to give you some ideas, a flavor of what we do within coinIX. And there's a particularly interesting thing ripe for offering to you. We are in the process of doing our digital public offering. Just briefly on who we are and what we do. My name is Moritz Schildt. My background, I'm a lawyer by education. I've spent some 20 years of my career in traditional finance as an asset manager in my own company, managing a few hundred million euros. And quite early, back in 2013, I got in touch with Bitcoin. And since then, I'm quite enthusiastic about this new asset class. Not only Bitcoin, but having or giving an opportunity for traditional investors to take part in this interesting new world, so to say, in this new asset class, consisting of not only Bitcoin, but many other options and things. And our claim somehow is to help everyone by buying our shares to get an exposure to be invested in what happens in the blockchain and crypto area. One might say, so you do something similar to this strategy company, which also is issuing shares and investing in crypto. Yes and no to some extent. There are similarities because we use the capital our shareholders provide us with to invest into the world of crypto. Yeah, that's the similarity, and therefore we are a kind of German crypto treasury company. However, there are significant differences. We are by far smaller and different from Michael Saylor. We do not invest in Bitcoin only, but we invest in a broad, diversified portfolio of different assets that belong to this new world. And then third thing, of course, we don't do any external capital, so we are purely equity financed, which makes a significant difference. With that, let's briefly dig into this market of crypto. And as I mentioned before, Bitcoin has been kind of the initial, I tend to say, the dinosaur of this universe. So it used to be the first, the largest, but the least flexible animal in the crypto world. And therefore, coinIX early started to invest in crypto, in Bitcoin, but now has less than 10% of its exposure into Bitcoin and is much more focusing on other opportunities that are altcoins is the term usually used for this, that are different, which are more and more including projects different from Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, as everybody knows, has no kind of intrinsic value. We see more and more token offerings where a company is issuing tokens as the way of financing their projects, and by buying their token, you invest in their infrastructure, in a project that has clients, that generates cash flows, and the token holder somehow participates in the success of this project. All this is new. There are not so many, even in the venture capital area. The experience investing in crypto is not very high, and there are lots of instruments around there. And coinIX is trying to help by analyzing the crypto world using our large network that has been growing since 2013, because we have been doing this since 2017. coinIX was founded back then, by doing a substantial due diligence on the projects we invest in. And this results in some trades that are extremely successful. So coinIX back in 2020 invested in a project called The Graph, and The Graph back then 6 months later was listed on a crypto exchange. So this was a so-called SAFT deal. SAFT stands for Simple Investment for Future Token. And We did a SAFT, so we invested in a token which was not even existing back then. We did 50,000 US, and this project turned out to be extremely profitable. In the first beginning it was a double-digit, and eventually we were able to realize 2.9 billion euro out of it. Another project we did quite recently, in 2022, we invested in a project called Peak, and with this, from our initial investment of 150,000, this currently has a valuation of 400,000. So this is an area that can be extremely attractive, however, it is very volatile. Just a few investments on that we did most recently. We did an investment, a SAFT format in Ex Machina. It's a decentralized autonomous organization that permits investments in robotics projects. Quite cool. We have invested in a DeFi agent. DeFi is the world where you do decentralized finance and you have the ability to even earn interest on your crypto, and this DeFi agent helps you to optimize the yield. But there's another project we invested in which permits private transactions in pools, so we are continuously monitoring this segment and trying to find attractive deals. We are small, we are very small. Currently the portfolio has seen a significant drop to the price development in the last weeks. So as of end of November, we are at around 8 million. That is the value of our portfolio. Our kind of standard shares that are listed in Düsseldorf, the stock exchange, coinIX shares, currently have a market cap of about 4 million. So there's currently a 50% discount compared to the inner value. As you can see here, we hold Ethereum. Ethereum is one of our favorites in the current times. There has recently been an upgrade for the Ethereum system, and we strongly believe that there is significant potential for value appreciation. And then, as you can see, there are many more smaller items. We have a few SAFTs, we hold a few shares of companies, and all of this is related to blockchain and crypto. As I mentioned earlier, we do always on our website calculate the inner value. This is the net asset value of our portfolio, and compare it to the share price. There is always spread, which recently was at 50%. So maybe it might be worth considering investing in our shares, just because the value you get for it is higher than the price you have to pay. But we get to the preferred shares in a minute. Just briefly to look into the performance of the currencies we hold. I mentioned Peak, which had a peak early this year and went down. This had a significant impact on the overall valuation because we hold a huge position in Peak. However, you see it quite often if a coin has been recently listed, it peaks and then over time it goes down. Still, this Peak project has a market capitalization of 150 million, and we strongly believe that there is significant potential even to outperform what we see in Bitcoin and Ethereum, which recently have been not so volatile as other altcoins. Part of our portfolio is held in a segregated account. This has a significant volatility as well. Even in the last year, it plummeted from over 300 down to 100. It's now at 130, and we strongly believe that there is significant potential for growth. Just briefly looking into our financials, this is our balance sheet. As you can see, it mostly consists of investments in crypto-related themes, and as we do accounting according to the German HGB, there are significant hidden reserves because all of the assets that are valued at purchasing cost. Looking into our financial planning for 2025, we intend to generate a relevant positive income. We want to reach about 1 million in operating income, which essentially results from us selling positions that have increased in value. As we are approaching the end of the year, we have already reached these figures, so we are quite confident to somehow lead to this outcome. Now let me tell you what is in for you with our new preferred shares. As you've seen, there is a significant price gap between the inner value and the share price, and therefore we are kind of reluctant in bringing new traditional shares to the market. However, we want to grow, and that's the main reason why we have been thinking about using a new share class. And this new share class is intended to be a much more defensive investment because we are offering a preferred dividend for these preferred shares. The preferred dividend is intended to be, or is in our that's already fixed at €1 per year. So the preferred shareholders get €1 per share per year as a dividend. Accordingly, the issue price will be €10, which equals a dividend yield of 10%. And as usual with German preferred dividends, unpaid dividends accumulate in subsequent years, and there's a priority profit distribution over the common shareholders. So it is intended to work a little bit like a subordinated capital, because, however, it is intended and will be equity. So the first thing, I think this is quite new, that we provide you access to a portfolio of crypto, however, giving you the opportunity to receive a 10% yield. So, and the entire capital of the company will serve as collateral, so to say, in order to permit that this dividend can be paid. And the second interesting and innovative thing about these new preferred shares is that we are going to issue them in the form of digital securities. So in Germany, there is a new law called EWPG, that stands for Electronic Security Law, and permits that new shares can be issued in a digital format and will be held not in a not with a bank, but in a wallet. And all investors, this is quite new, and there has been a few issuances under this new regime recently. The smart thing about it is each and every new investor doing an investment into our new preferred shares will be offered a digital securities wallet, which will be hosted at Hauck & Aufhäuser, a German traditional banking group that is an innovator as well in this crypto custody area. And the smart thing about this is that these shares will be transferable in the future, similar to sending digital assets from one wallet to another. So it's an entirely new format. However, it has the full kind of set of applications and the full setup as a real security in the format of a preferred share. To give you a flavor of what we intend to do. Currently, the capital is shared by 3 million common shares. 100% of it is listed in the traditional open market. It's the Freiverkehr with Düsseldorf Exchange, and we have listings in Munich and Berlin as well. We intend to do a tiny new issuance of up to 250,000 new preferred shares at a price of 10 each. So we intend to raise 2.5 million with this new innovative structure, and as we are offering digital shares, it is an initial digital offering. So the total existing value the portfolio currently has is 8 million. We intend to achieve an additional 2.5 million, so increasing the capital available to 10.5, and the new shares will have the right to receiving a preferred dividend. However, the entire capital will be used for it. We intend to use the new capital mostly to invest in more defensive protocols where we believe that we can get another return between 8 and 14%, allowing to pay out the dividend. However, even if this is not working properly, the entire capital of the company will be used to generate profits, and these profits will be available to give a preferred dividend to the preferred shareholders. This gives you an idea. If we do a full placement of 2.5 million, this will result in an annual dividend distribution of 250,000. And in order to achieve this return, or a profit sufficient to allow the dividend distribution, the total assets base of 10.5 billion needs to generate only 2.4% in order to permit the dividend payment. So that's essentially where we are. We intend to complete the crowdfunding campaign, so it's ideal that you are here today by the fourth quarter of 2025. We will invest early 2026, and the first dividend is intended to be paid in the second quarter of 2026, because with our annual shareholders meeting there will be the decision on the dividend and the dividend payment. And then currently these new preferred shares, as they are digital shares, are not yet listed on a trading venue. However, they are first upcoming trading venues for digital securities. coinIX is the most prominent one that recently received its license in Germany, and we intend, and we are in positive talks with them, to have these new preferred shares to be listed as one of the first German shares in a digital format on a listed trading venue, which I believe is quite innovative. So even if you don't believe it's a story, maybe you might be interested to be one of the first investing in one of these digital securities. We are a small team. Omri and I founded the company back in 2017, and we work quite a bunch of analysts that cooperate with us, that provide us with new trading ideas and so on. However, we have a fully fledged setup. As we mentioned earlier, we even have part of our portfolio invested via a segregated fund, which gives us tax advantages. We offer alternative investment funds for professional investors, where we can have a dedicated investment policy, and we do have the full license as a Kapitalverwaltungsgesellschaft under German law, as a registered Kapitalverwaltungsgesellschaft, as well as an Investment Aktiengesellschaft. All this is about investing in crypto, and the intention from the very beginning was always to give traditional investors a bridge access to this new world. And if you are interested in looking into our shares, it's the offering that is not in the traditional format. It's investable via Conda Capital. Conda Capital is a swarm investment provider, and this is the way to access it and to look into the full documentation. So the smart part of it, you don't need to do an order with your banker. You can just do a investment into these new preferred shares online via this crowdfinancing platform, Conda Capital. All right, that was essentially what I wanted to get across, and I think there are a few questions and remarks. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Moritz, so much. Always great to see someone presenting from the same city of Hamburg. And yes, we already have a couple of questions in the chat, and everyone is of course welcome to post more. So the first question is, how many of your peak tokens do you have in total, and how many are first of all in the wallet already, and B, locked in the future until the future date, and at what date will that?
This is a very good question. I have to admit I'm not fully able to answer this now. I think the figure I mentioned earlier that currently the value is about 500,000 at a relatively low valuation, and we have already realized 400,000 out of it. Gives you an estimate. If you want to have more details, just drop me an email and we will provide you with the details.
Okay. And then there's a question to the preferred shareholders. So will the earnings, how does it work with the dividends and the earnings for the preferred shareholders?
Well, essentially, a German shareholding company is only permitted to pay out dividends if there is a profit. However, if we have sufficient profit, then this will be used in the first place to pay the preferred dividend to the preferred shareholders at the kind of not guaranteed rate, but at the rate that we already have in our articles of association. Therefore, if there's a profit, then the preferred shareholders can be kind of sure that they get kind of the first like waterfall, and afterwards the remainder can then be used to pay a dividend to common shares.
And how do you select the next currencies to buy? What's your navigation approach to the currencies?
We have a broad range of indicators. We use research. We particularly use quite a bunch of on-chain data to get a better understanding, and then eventually it's similar to like stock picking. As I mentioned, most of the altcoins we invest in are not meme coins or whatever, but we look for projects where there's really a team, where there's really a project behind it, where we can see clients and cash flows. So look at Aave, for example, which is a kind of yield-generating protocol for crypto, and we use Aave ourselves as a customer because we tend to get yield on our coins. Look at Cowcoin, for example, which is an interesting project, and so it's a little bit like doing equity research because it is more and more projects, it's more and more real value generation. You can't do a DCF on these because the token holder does not necessarily participate in the cash flows. However, and then it goes into the tokenomics. So many of these projects, for example, use a mechanism where the ongoing operations have a burning mechanism. So tokens are burned from the market if the company is successful. As a result, demand remains the same, but supply goes down. And these mechanisms help you to kind of transform the success of the underlying project into the value appreciation of the token holders. But I mean, this is fundamental research. We look into each and every project, we discuss it, and then we do usually a small allocation, and then we get in touch with the team and so on. And that's the basis for our work. It's nothing is purely quant.
And there's a question again regarding preferred shares, which is, Teddy says, it's not mentioned in the Satzung, in the charter on the website. Can you tell us more about that?
That's hard to believe, but we will look into it. At least you can find the changes that have been made to our Satzung by the last general shareholders meeting, which has implemented that. And sorry if the Satzung is not the one that is up to date.
And how many Bitcoins did you sell in 2025, and can you tell us about the price that you sold?
We go not into details about each and every transaction. What I can say is that we have reduced our Bitcoin exposure in October and November this year at prices that are significantly above the current level. However, we intend to increase our Bitcoin position again a bit.
And you have a huge position in Ether. What's your expectations for that, and what's your current performance of it?
So Ether currently really is our preferred invest. Ether is less volatile than other altcoins, therefore we have slightly reduced our exposure to other altcoins and put it in ETH. We believe that the new upgrade in ETH is likely to help appreciate over the next couple of months, definitely. And we see that particularly this new trend towards stable coins, e.g. coins that can be used for payment purposes without having such a volatility. Most of this is either based on ETH or on Base. And we believe that both these chains will significantly participate in this new developments, which is just using blockchain as the underlying technology to help achieve a kind of other very interesting targets.
So, as you said, coinIX already built a deep expertise in blockchain and tokens and early stage venture investing. So, maybe can you talk once again about the team or the culture? How do you seize those opportunities that come maybe quite quickly in this fast-moving industry?
Good point. As I mentioned, I come from the traditional finance industry. When we founded coinIX and when I had the idea of building a vehicle permitting investors to get exposure to this, I was trying to find someone to help me with the expertise. Someone is Omri Iris, whom I mentioned, who is our Chief Investment Officer. And when I met him first back in 2017, he had already 5 years of experience investing in crypto. And I think the crucial thing is really that you have a network and you have seen quite a bunch of projects. And for example, the kind of most profitable investments we ever made, the Graph, which I mentioned earlier, was a project back then in 2020 where it was not about them raising capital, but investors kind of queuing up to be able to partake in their round. And you don't get access to the attractive projects if you are not in the community, if you don't have a relevant network. And I believe with Omri, with Marcus, however, with Masa, and with a bunch of other kind of friends and family that sometimes do co-investments with us and so on, we have quite a solid base to identify attractive new projects in this area. And we strongly believe that more and more with the Genius Act from the US, many more interesting new projects will use a token issuance as a means of getting capital. And us being already in this space, we believe have a very good opportunity to see attractive deals in the future.
Okay, excellent. So the time is up. Maybe you can wrap it up with one last big sentence. Why is now the time to invest in coinIX?
I think similar to what happened many years ago when the first kind of internet development came up, we are now really seeing a Web3 wave that is going to start because more and more companies, more and more traditional industries understand that blockchain as a technology has huge potential, and if you want to invest in it, You can't do it via traditional companies. You have to go into the tokenized format. And I believe coinIX is offering a unique opportunity to have a traditional instrument with an ISIN in your portfolio and getting exposure to exactly that market that has a huge potential for the future.